Shalom, everyone. This is Rabbi Yonatan with my weekly Torah thought. And this week's Parashat are Tazria, Metzora, which speak about such pleasant and lovely subjects as purity and impurity, tameh, tahor, and a lot about a really bad skin disease called sara'at, often translated as leprosy, although whether it was or wasn't leprosy, hotly debated among scholars. In light of the disease that we're dealing with, pandemic disease that we're dealing with in globally, the COVID-19, I had sort of another question about disease in general. See, all the commentators that comment on this, and the rabbis and the Talmud, they assume that the Metzora, the person with the disease, did something wrong in order to get the disease. Mostly they focus on something called lashon hara, or speaking badly about others. But it doesn't say anything about that in these parashot. It's an association with another person, actually Moses' sister Miriam, who contracted Sarat after speaking badly about him, and that's the way that association was made. But it's not clear from the Torah itself. And it becomes clear as part of the way in which people religiously come to understand disease, that it's a punishment. And I think we have to question this, especially in our time. Is this a punishment? Is this something that God's doing to the world? Or that God, maybe we did, but God won't undo? I tend to reject those kinds of religious ideas. But I do absolutely think that God is in every way with us at this time and working in and through us to be able to combat this and find a cure and to move forward, not only past coronavirus, but for a better world. And so, while the Metzora might have had to sort of think about what they did wrong or what they said or do tshuva because they wanted to heal, I think that even though this is not any kind of a punishment, that there is room to reflect on our lives and our world. And especially since so much has changed and that our lives have changed so much, so quickly, we can reflect on what were our lives before this? Do we want to go back to them? I'll tell you, I, for one, and I've written about this before, don't want to go back to the world I lived in before. Some of the good things that have come out of this terrible, terrible tragedy have been relooking at how I spend my time. I'm now spending a lot more time with family. I'm now spending a lot more time thinking. And I've heard this from many people, that they've just had more time to be and to think and to be more active and to spend more time doing things that are really important to them. My prayer is that we'll all continue to do that even after this is all over. And my suggestion to all of us is maybe to write down a line or two about what we've learned about ourselves, about our world, that we want to carry with us into the future. And then when we get to the future, instead of forgetting about it, leave that little piece of paper on your bedside table and pull it out every morning when you're saying the Shema or Modeh Ani, and remind yourself what's really important. Because I think that that's one thing that we are getting a new perspective on during this terrible tragedy. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.